Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ashrafil mursaleen Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu sallam bimadadakum wa nazarakum Sayyidi ya Rasul Kareem ya Habib al-Azim. Madad ya Sayyidi ya Sultan al-Awliya ma Shaykh Abdul Faiz al-Daghestani, Shaykh Muhammad Nazim Adil al-Haqqani, Mawlana Shaykh Sham Kabani, Shaykh Adnan Kabani, Shaykh Muhammad Adil, Mawlana Khaliq al-Khurjdawani, Sahib Zaman Sayyidina Muhammad al-Mahdi alayhi salam, Ruhullah Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, Sayyidullah Sayyidina alayhi salam, Tumma Sayyidina Abu Bakrs Siddiq, Sayyidina Ummah, Sayyidina Uthman, Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam, Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, Sayyidatina Fatima alayhi salam. Bi barakatan this weekend inshaAllah the Urs Mubarak of Sayyidina Sultan al-Awliya ma Shaykh Sharafuddin Daghestani Qaddasallahu Sirruhu wa Sa'iru Sadatina wa Siddiqina al-Fatiha. Shafad ya Rasul Kareem Habib al-Azim, inshaAllah with this ishq and muhabbat to dress us from their reality and bless us from the immense reality of Sultan al-Awliya Mawlana Shaykh Daghestani Qaddasallahu Sirruhu, and that the immense ishq and muhabbat of Sayyidina Muhammad. And always a reminder for myself, Atiullah ati'u Rasuluhu ulil amri minkum, and ana abdukul ajizu da'ifu miskinu zalimu jahal, and but for the grace of Allah that we're still in existence, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah that the secret for Himmah, the zeal to want to achieve something, is ishq and muhabbat and love. The secret for divine zeal and the desire to accomplish in life is love. And external people believe that through force and through aggression you can get somebody to submit. They believe that in their personal lives to be aggressive and forceful, whether regarding to deen or dunya. And they believe that in their religious life, that to fear the aggression of Allah and the fear of punishment and retaliation, and they believe that that will be a means in which to submit. And alhamdulillah that from the heart of Prophet that they train the who and the people of who, and not everything round is an orange and not every shaykh has reached that reality. And we described before that the hay and wow of inheriting from who, when Allah in the surah of sincerity, there's no nothing in Surat al-Ikhlas, no guidance, no laws, just the surah of sincerity for Qul huwallahu ahad. And from the immense ocean of the oceans of sincerity where Allah is addressing Qul hu, Allah's command of Qul is being addressed to the reality of who. The who of Allah can never be seen, but there is within creation a reflection of that who, and that's Sayyidina Muhammad. And this is at the highest levels of sincerity and realities. And awliyaullah whom are dressed by that reality, again not everything and everyone is the same dress, but they at least will begin to teach and express why. That their shaykh dressed them from this hay of Allah that grants them hidayat, and through their five senses have been opened and they guide through their entire wujood and their soul. And Allah as a result of this guidance dressed them from the oceans of wow. And they are the shaykhs of wadud, and they understood that Allah is secret wanting to be known, and creating a love an entity and a creation that is so dearly loved because Allah wanted to be known by it. And Allah is love, Allah is muhabbat and ishq. Its very essence is created from that reality. As a result brought Muhammadun Rasulullah into existence. That reality of wadud is the guiding force and the element that holds, or the glue that holds everything together. If we go to the smallest of our understanding, we described that our atoms, they stay together, and this electron that Allah created, the only reason it has an attraction to the nucleus is divine love. Scientists, when they say strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, because they don't want to bring its reality into existence, they don't understand what is the magnetism of why this electron has to reach the nucleus. We know because Prophet give to awliyaullah that it's from the secret of the wow. So it means everything around us in its elementary form, whether it's an alien on Nibiru or somewhere else in 10,000 galaxies away, they're atoms. Their atom and atomic structure is based on wow. The electron that Allah gave, a love for the nucleus and the Divinely Presence. As a result of this sincere love, it has to reach the nucleus. Then Allah provides a little bit of a restraining order saying that, you can't come at this time, struggle. So we said there's an attraction, and this three is the secret of our existence. There's an attraction. As a result of not being allowed to enter at that moment that it wants, because it has to submit to Allah's will, there's now a movement, because it's going to search any door and window that it can come. Means love, true love never stops. True love stops at nothing to reach the one whom it loves. And as a result the wujud is built like that, our essence and reality is built like that. What happens then? Now you have a spin. So this centrifugal force is moving to reach that center. As a result, that permission is still not opening for it to collide and to reach to its reality, and then you have what's called the rise. So in, around and then up. The rise is the hologram in the illusion of this world. Everything is spinning at such a massive speed, as a result it is appearing as if it's solid, but in essence it's just spinning. And Allah describes this creation as but an illusion. So when we look inside, because reality is outside is easier to understand, but when we look inside, Allah is showing your very being is created like that. That even if you understood our light is spinning with that reality. That Allah puts within the wow, the wadud and the love, and as a result of love everything is moving. If Allah restricts and pulls the love, every spinning and movement stops, collapses, becomes empty space. The mass of what we see within our universes, infinite in their size, is all spinning atoms. And if Allah stops the love, everything collapses. Then we come to the bigger being and the same reality, that you cannot force people to submit. And when they see the videos they don't understand that why are these people talking about love? Why are they talking about forcing people or fearing Allah, all sorts of punishment going to come to you? Because Allah addressed these servants whom understand the haqqaiq that that's not the secret, especially not in these days. In these days the secret is love. That if you can depart to people a sense of love, and only by love people's hearts become opened. Only by love, when the heart becomes open, you build within people the shyness and fear of disappointment. Not that you're going to beat them, that doesn't make anybody to do things. That actually brings the nafs to become rebellious with somebody, whether it's with our children, our families, our work, and then towards the Divinely Presence. So that the secrets that the shaykhs are trying to depart to people, and so that they have an understanding, is that the secret of himmah and the zeal to want to accomplish has to do with love. When somebody is struck by love and the love begins to enter into the heart, the yearning that they have to accomplish, the yearning that one has with love is the fear of disappointment. That when I love somebody I don't want to disappoint them. I'm not fearing their reactions because this is a different ocean completely. When we teach our children through love, not through this is the rule, this is the rule, this is the rule, it's not going to work. At some point in time their age is going to advance in which the force is not going to work. And the only thing that Allah gives to us is that unconditionally try your best to love them. And when you love them and depart the love and give support through love, they will build within their heart a shyness to disappoint you. And those are for the believers. Now outside in shaitan's realm is completely something different. Those whom believe and Allah tests them within their lives, we can force nobody to love us. We're only responsible for the love that we give out to people. We cannot force people to follow us or to love us or to have a respect for us. All that they want and all our shaykhs taught us is that you be loving, that you overlook the faults of people, that you try your best to dispense love at every opportunity, to dispense guidance that's completely based on love. As a result it will look into the hearts of people. If it looks into their heart, the fear of disappointment begins to enter into their being, and that's when Allah grabs them. And that's the importance of the last days. And that becomes self-evident, it's not a philosophy. Look to the accomplishments of SMC. Go onto social media and see how Allah inspires people to serve. Those whom don't serve, they lack love. So go back to ourselves and ask ourselves why we don't serve. We don't have a desire to show our love. Say, oh but the shaykh it doesn't matter, I love Allah. We're lying to ourselves when we say that. The guy right in front of you is much easier to show your love than the Creator who's hidden behind many veils to people whom don't have a love. In every action of their life they won't show that. If you can't show it to the one right in front of you, how are you showing it to Prophet and how are you showing it to the Divinely Presence? Everything that Allah gave to us is to be tested and it has its own scientific evidence. It is not a philosophy. So when those whom their love grows in sincerity, as a result of the love they have, they don't want to disappoint. They go out and they try their best to serve. As a result of service in their life, whatever type of service people are doing in their lives, it is the sign of the presence of love. And those who don't teach with love, they look with jealousy at everything. How they get these people to do this stuff? You think it's by force? They go into a majlis and yell at everybody, you're all going to Jahannam because you don't do anything, or you're all going to Jahannam because you don't share my articles. How do you think they're going to bring people? And how the tariqas traditionally they operate off of khidmat and service. Why? It was never through force, but its secret and its key was ishq and muhabbat. And that when they talk with love, teach with love, even the people don't follow the teaching and then don't follow for years the teaching, the shaykh never mentions it and keeps teaching and keep teaching until the day in which the love enters the heart, the love for Allah, the love for Prophet truly enters into the heart, and the love for these guys enters into the heart. As a result they feel a shyness not to serve, not to do, not to accomplish something, and as a result their faith becomes alive, and that becomes the true way of Islam. What was the fear that the companions had? They didn't know Allah. What they know of any punishment from Allah? Their only fear was disappointing Sayyidina Muhammad. And we described in the haqqaiqs of Sayyidina Abu Bakrs Siddiq, as-Siddiq al-Mutlaq, complete truthful servant of Allah, no one more truthful. The mutlaq means that the seal of complete truthfulness. And what he inspires within the heart of awliyaullah, my truthfulness was to love. My love for Prophet was true. Allah granted my reward based on the love, not only just speaking truth and not of, oh you made a mistake here so you must not be truthful. This is not the truth. The truth of the tongue is not the issue. The truth of actions, and the greatest action is the love of Prophet, love of the ulul am. All of that then becomes a reflection of the love of Allah. How can one love Allah when they don't love Sayyidina Muhammad? It's an illusion because they have no rules and no guidance. How can you say you love the Divine but you don't love the one whom gives you structure and discipline on how to approach the Divine? It's a lie, it's a deceit that shaitan puts upon us. How can we love Prophet when we don't have the love for ulul am and we're not following them and following their way and following their examples? Then it becomes a deceit and deception in our lives. And what they want for us is to make our faith to be real, make the faith to be real. That when we absorb within our hearts the teachings and with earnest and sincerity we're trying to understand it, to implement it, to live a life of service, whether go buy water and give water to the poor. The service can be sharing articles. Now mashallah we have everybody is a Leonardo da Vinci and Picasso. Every one of our guys are making now AI graphics, and they find it challenging and nice because they're all competing with beatific graphics. Wasn't that such a simple service? But what does it mean in their eyes? Because in the eyes of the heavens they look and say that these people love you. Because of what they're doing they're trying to make you happy and they love you. And as a result Prophet accepts their love. And as a result Allah if Prophet has stamped that, Allah finds acceptance in their love. And that's all that we needed. And with that love is the only way back to our origin. The most powerful bond that we can make is with love, with ishq. This is a bond that makes the connection with our soul back to the soul of Sayyidina Muhammad, means with that bond that is made, it draws us back towards our origin. If you make that bond, it is the most powerful bond that will save us through turbulence and destruction. Because once the bond is truly made with the shaykh, you cannot break it. As if somebody telling you, take this hand and now cut your fingers off. Who can willingly, unless you're Japanese mafia, who can willingly cut their fingers off? You can't, you're bound. Except those guys, they snip their fingers. But the reality is when the love is real, the bond is locked. And that's why Allah says that you can't take your hand off of that hand. If you truly establish that love, that your love is in your heart sincere, that I love this representative of Prophet, as a result I want the nazar of Prophet, and I go out and I live my life of khidmat and service. I take my listening and my teaching to establish that love, and when I'm at home I do my zikr and my awrad. There's no way that you can't make that bond, and if you make that bond, Allah is describing there's no way for you to break it except to the detriment of your soul, as if you rip your soul apart. So the bond that one makes with their shaykh, when it's sincere and when it's based off of love, that's a eternal bond that goes beyond the here into the hereafter. And that becomes the immensity and the reality to achieve. That's the one. Then when people prematurely depart from their way and their path, what it really describes is they truly didn't understand love and they didn't make the connection through love, because love is something that you can never leave. You can have distance and you can have time and space, but the love is never broken. Love is something that is an eternal connection, and we're talking only towards the reality of the heavens, we're not talking about a dunya love. This eternal love that Allah grants for us to establish with this ulul am, with the tariqah, with Prophet is an eternal bond within the heart. When one walks away from it, what they show is they really never made that bond, because we're describing how difficult it is. It's a life of service, it's a life of struggle, it's a life of heart being torn because the scar tissue is stronger. The fufu heart, the fufu skin, as soon as they get scratched they scream and run. But this is not that way. This is a life in which they've been cut many times, and as a result of their cut they have scar tissue. Have you seen like a warrior? What's the one where we sing Prophet's holy companion Saifullah? The name of the holy companion? Khalid ibn Walid. They said there wasn't an inch on his body that didn't have scars in the way of Allah. These are holy companions as an example. They physically had scars. All Allah wants from us is, you guys have spiritual scars. When you struggled in the way and all through the testings in life, not being happy with this, not happy with this one, not happy with that one, but have istiqam and firmness on their path, they have many spiritual scars from their experiences. But as a result of holding on and continuing, they're that much stronger on the path. Like Khalid ibn Walid, his whole physicality, so not an inch wasn't with the slashings of knives because of the battles and the way that he struggled in the way of Allah. So this is the secret of himmah, and this is the secret of this reality. Even through when we talked about Sayyidina Musa that he wanted to reach after what Sayyidina Musa witnessed of what he witnessed. When he witnessed the light of Prophet, that's why the Naat asks Musa what he saw. When he saw the light of Prophet, what happens when somebody witnesses that light? Immense love is departed within the soul, that you're going back to your origin as a result of witnessing that light, completely rebooting and coming back into existence with a Muhammadan light. There was nothing that would stop that reality from achieving the rida and pleasure of Sayyidina Muhammad. As a result he endured the humiliation and the ridicule of Sayyidina Khidr, and we described that in the other versions of Surat Al-Kahf. That only for that love are you willing to put yourself through difficulty, humility, testing. How are you going to be humiliated and humility? Is the word humiliation and humility is the importance, that they were completely tested, completely humiliated by Sayyidina Khidr for what? To gain the rida and satisfaction of Sayyidina Muhammad. And many stories of the holy companions reaching this reality. We pray that Allah give us a greater understanding of the importance of ishq and muhabbat and love, and the immense importance of disseminating love. Because although we get very bizarre comments from people whom seem to have been abused through the teachings of hate and propagating hate, it makes a difference. Because all you have to do is light one light in the zulm and the darkness of oppression, and it suffice, because the miraculous nature of light illuminates every darkness. Means in every crevice of darkness and every pocket of social media that's dark, illuminate with the teachings of love and muhabbat and positivity and the ishq and muhabbat of Sayyidina Muhammad. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon. As-salamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa Basir Surat al-Fatiha.
As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments, and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.